The water wouldn't drain. I stared at the sink, watching it pool like a bad omen. Then I remembered the smart camera I'd installed under the vanity insurance against leaks, or so I thought. I pulled up the feed on my phone. There it was, crystal clear in the dim light, a glint of metal shaped like a T tangled in the trap, an IUD, copper, the kind that lasts years. My stomach dropped. Who the hell uses my bathroom like this? Only my wife. Ava's whisper from upstairs. Honey, you coming to bed? I gripped the phone tighter. You should leave now, I murmured to the empty room. The screen zoomed in on that twisted T, cold and unforgiving. Truth doesn't hide in pipes. It just waits to clog everything up. That was the moment everything shifted. Not with a bang, but with a quiet clog. But let's back up, because you need to understand how we got here, Ava and me, Mason, in what everyone called the picture-perfect life. I met Ava 8 years ago at a tech conference in Austin. She was the rising star in PR, all sharp suits and sharper smiles, pitching crisis management to a room full of skeptics. I was the quiet data analyst behind the scenes, crunching numbers for a startup that barely paid the bills. We clicked over bad coffee and worse Wi-Fi. She saw potential in my spreadsheets. I saw fire in her stories. 6 months later, we were engaged. 2 years after that, married in a vineyard that looked like it belonged in a magazine. On paper, it was flawless. We built a home in the suburbs, 4 bedrooms, open kitchen, the kind of place where neighbors wave but never intrude. I climbed the ladder at a fintech firm handling forensic audits for high-stakes clients. Ava launched her own agency specializing in personal branding for influencers and execs. Mornings were our ritual. I'd brew coffee strong enough to wake the dead. She'd scroll through her feed, curating the day's narrative. That's the word she loved, narrative. Like our life was a script she could tweak for better likes. We had date nights scripted, too. Sushi on Fridays, hikes on Sundays, always with the ring light ready for her stories. Followers ate it up, sachet power couple goals hearts raining down like confetti. But cracks show in the details, don't they? The ones you ignore until the pipe bursts. Ava's phone was glued to her hand apps, pinging with client crises or opportunities. Mine, a simple calendar for work deadlines and our shared ovulation tracker. Yeah, that app. We'd talked kids early on, 2, maybe 3, when the timing felt right. She synced it to her cycle religiously at first, then not so much. I'd noticed the dates shifting. 1 month, her fertile window lined up perfectly with my out-of-town audit in Chicago. Coincidence, she said. Work calls. Then came the PR trips. Quick getaway to LA for a client pitch. She'd text from LAX posting sunsets with captions like, chasing dreams and deadlines. I'd smile at the likes pouring in, but something gnawed. Why always when I was buried in reports? And the language. God, the language. Our family talks turned into crafting our narrative, like we were characters in her next campaign. Mason imagined the story tech whiz and branding queen building an empire and a legacy. I'd nod stirring pasta while she sketched mood boards on her iPad. Legacy, empire. Words that sounded grand but felt hollow when the dishes piled up. I wasn't blind. Ava thrived on the spotlight, the validation, the rush of a well-timed post going viral. Me, I preferred the quiet wins, fixing a client's ledger before fraud hit the headlines, helping my mom with her bills over Sunday calls. That's the gap, I guess. She chased the image. I built the foundation. Our joint account grew savings for the house investments in her agency. I handled the spreadsheets, the audits, the safeguards. Because here's the thing about numbers, they don't lie. People do. Apps glitch, narratives twist, but a clean audit trail, that's your anchor when the storm hits. I'd always been the planner. Even before Ava back in my 20s, I'd read up on postnups not as a prenup redo, but as smart insurance, like locking your doors before the burglar rings the bell. We signed one early in the marriage, her laughing it off as my analyst brain overdrive. Clause 7, B infidelity triggers a financial freeze. Assets split per contributions, no alimony games. She skimmed it signed with a flourish. Whatever makes you feel secure, babe. Secure. Yeah. But lately, those red flags waved harder. Her cycle app showed peak days that never matched ours. Once a notification popped up during dinner. Harper's clinic reminder your session. Harper, I asked casually over wine. New client, she said, eyes on her phone. Confidential fertility consult, branding for wellness influencers. I let it slide. But that night alone in the office, I jotted notes. Not paranoia preparation. You see, in my line of work, we teach clients one rule: evidence before emotion. Freeze the accounts if fraud's suspected. Pull statements, set alerts on transfers. Build the trail before the thief bolts. It's not about distrust. It's about data. Facts that hold up in court, not just in your gut. And in marriage, same game. We pour in time, money, trust, like deposits in a shared vault. But if someone's skimming, you don't yell. You audit, quietly, methodically. Lock the digital wallets. Mirror the statements to a secure drive. Install subtle flags on joint apps, nothing invasive, just enough to log the moves. Because when the truth surfaces, you want it ironclad, not, he said, she said. Ava never knew about the extra layer. The post-nup was our safety net. This was my invisible ledger. Kept me sleeping at night even as her stories grew glossier. Her feed exploded around then, a series, Our Journey to Parenthood, Raw and Real, photos of us at brunches, her hand on a flat belly, captions dripping hope. Building our family narrative one step at a time. Likes hit thousands. Brands slid into her DMs. She glowed, planning a reveal photo shoot. I smiled for the camera, but inside a quiet audit running. Why the sudden push? Our talks about kids had cooled her career. Not there yet, she said. Yet the app pinged irregularly, dates off by weeks. Then the emails. I glimpsed one on the counter. Re-LA trip, Harper confirms schedule. Clinic visit slotted for day 3. Harper again. Wellness branding right. I didn't confront. Not yet. Instead, I mirrored our shared drive that night. Pulled a quick report on transfers, nothing glaring but a pattern of consult fees to an unmarked account. 200 here, 500 there. For networking lunches. My gut twisted, but I breathed. Evidence first. Days blurred into that routine. Her spinning the spotlight, me tallying the shadows, until the morning of the clog. It started simple. Ava rushed downstairs late for a strategy call. Babe, the sink's backing up, fix it later. I nodded, pouring coffee. She air-kissed my cheek, grabbed her bag, and was gone. Hours later, elbow deep in pipes, that's when the camera feed lit up my phone. The T-shaped truth staring back. And just like that, the audit went live. I didn't sleep that night. The image burned into my screen, that copper T mocking me from the drain. By dawn, my bags were packed, 2 suitcases, laptop, and the quiet resolve I'd honed over years of audits. Ava stirred as I zipped the last one. Mason, where are you going so early? Work trip, I said, voice steady as a baseline report. Extended one. I'll text from the road. She mumbled something about coffee rolled over. I left the note on the counter. Handle the sink, plumber's number in the drawer. No accusations, no drama, just facts. The drive to my parents' place blurred into highway lines. Mom's house sat on the edge of town, the one I'd bought for them after my first big bonus 3-bedrooms garden she tended like a ledger. Dad answered the door in his robe, coffee mug in hand. Son, everything all right? I stepped inside, set the bags down. Need a few days. Ava's got a big push on her feed. He nodded, no questions, knew better than to pry when my jaw set like that. Mom hugged me tight in the kitchen, her eyes scanning my face. Stay as long as you need. Room's ready. I forced a smile. Thanks. Just clearing my head. Upstairs door locked, I fired up the laptop. The video from the camera played back in high def, no denying it now. Timestamped 2 nights ago after her late client dinner. The tea glinted under the faucet light, flushed carelessly like yesterday's trash. Silence hung heavy then. Not the screaming kind, but the weight of ledgers balancing wrong. I let it settle, breathing slow before pulling up the secure drive. First call, Laura Chen. My attorney, since the post-nup days, sharp as a subpoena, specializes in high-net exec divorces. She picked up on the second ring. Mason, it's Saturday. This better be good. I laid it out flat. No emotion, just the trail. Reviewing Clause 7B, infidelity trigger. Got visuals, timestamps, financial pings. A pause on her end, then the clack of keys. Post-nups airtight. Send what you've got. I forwarded the video. The app discrepancies, the email scraps. Freeze incoming, she said. I'll draft the notice. Assets per contributions no bleed. Clause 7B activates on confirmation. Yes, full financial lockdown. Joints split clean house equity. Yours agency, hers minus the draws. I nodded to the empty room. Good, proceed. She chuckled dry. Cold as ever. You'll hear from me by Monday. Click. That was it. No fireworks, just the mechanism engaging like a vault sealing shut. Next, the accounts. Our joint fintech app, ironic, given my job, had admin layers I'd buried deep. I logged in from the VPN, mirrored everything, first statements, transfers the lot. Then the freeze. One-tap alerts on all outflows over $50. Digital wallets locked hers, ours the shared crypto pot from her investments. I watched the cursor hover, then commit. Notifications silenced on her end, but mine pinging live. Extracted the statements 12 months back. Patterns jumped like red flags in a fraud scan. $200 to Harper Wellness consults on her peak days. $500 for LA networking flights booked solo hotel solo. The ovulation app hacked the sync logs. Her fertile windows, scripted around my audits, not ours. Fake entries, timestamps doctored. And the chats pulled from the cloud backup I'd mirrored months ago when the first pings hit. Harper not a client. A contact from her PR circle wellness guru with a side hustle in discreet retreats. Messages layered thick, clinic slot confirmed. Your narrative safe, total privacy. Ava. Thanks. Mason's buried in work. Perfect timing. Emojis. Hearts. Then the shift. Post-nup laughable. He's all numbers, no fire. I leaned back, letting the words sit. Not rage. Clarity. The release schedule, her term for the IUD swap, tied it. Clinic receipts, one insertion 6 months back, right after our family planning talk. She'd nodded along eyes on her phone while I sketched timelines for kids. Fake all along. A performance for the feed, the brands, the empire she chased, while I funded the stage. Dad knocked, then voice muffled. Lunch, your mom's making stew. I closed the laptop. Coming. Over bowls at the table, small talk flowed his golf handicap her garden yields. No spill from me. Not yet. But as I scraped the last bite, my phone buzzed Laura's draft. Notice served electronically, freeze live, evidence board building. I glanced up, caught Mom's eye. She smiled soft. Whatever it is, you've got this. Back in the room, I built the board. Digital first timeline pinned. Month 1 app sync starts glitching. Month 3 first consult charge. Month 6 IUD install feed post about journey pauses. Chats threaded in Harper's, your secrets gold brands love the authenticity angle. Ava, keep it quiet. Mason's too trusting. Trusting, right. Alerts layered next. Bank flags for any joint access. App monitors for deletes. Even her agency's CRM public filings showed draws I'd never signed off. 20,000 pulled last quarter labeled expansion. I cross-referenced her LA trips exactly. No networking, just narratives she wrote alone. By dusk, the board stared back complete. Not a revenge plot, a forensic map. Every dot connected, every lie ledgered. Ava texted then, Miss you already. Sink's fixed plumber found a weird blockage. LOL. I typed back, glad. Focus on your push. Talk soon. Delete the LOL in my head. Night fell quiet at Mom's. I lay there, board open on the screen, ticking like a metronome. Her spotlight burned bright online new post, embracing the journey, solo steps to strength. Comments flooded, hearts, prayers, brand tags. I scrolled past, locked the screen. Her stage, my move. But tomorrow she'd light the candles for our anniversary glow-up, and I'd bring the switch. She didn't notice the freeze at first. Not the financial one, anyway. Ava's world ran on momentum posts, pitches, the endless scroll of validation. By Monday, her feed lit up like a flare. A carousel, us at fertility yoga. Her in lotus pose, me blurred in the background like set dressing. Caption, "We're trying for our little miracle. Raw, real, and ready. Who's with us? Baby on board. Power couple journey." Hearts exploded. Comments poured, "So inspiring. Praying for you both." Brands tagged in wellness shots, baby gear collabs. She texted me from her office, "This is blowing up, babe. 50,000 impressions already. We need a reveal series." I read it at Mom's kitchen table, coffee going cold. Laura had filed the notice by noon, electronic serve, clean and quiet. Ava's agency card declined at lunch. She'd chalk it up to a glitch. That night I drove back. Not home, our home, technically, but the air felt thicker now, like ledgers out of balance. She greeted me at the door, all smiles and silk robe. "Missed you. Work killer." Something like that. I hung my keys, avoided her eyes. The board stayed zipped in my briefcase, timeline, ticking evidence stacked. Dinner was takeout sushi, her quick unwind. She scrolled, narrating the metrics. "See this influencer outreach tripled. We're the story everyone wants." I nodded, chopsticks midair. "Great." Then the shift. Her fork paused. "Everything okay? You've been distant?" I met her gaze, then steady. "Just processing." She leaned in, hand on mine. "The sink thing, total freak. Plumber said old pipes." "Pipes. Right." I pulled back gentle. "Not that." Her brow furrowed. "Then what?" The room hummed, fridge, her phone on silent for once. "Inspiration's off lately," she said, voice dipping. "Like the spark. You feel it too." I let the silence stretch. Not anger. Not yet. Just the weight of audits closing. "Yeah, I feel it." She waited, eyes searching. But I stood, cleared plates. "Early meeting tomorrow." Upstairs door clicked shut. Her reflection in the hall mirror, confused, then stealing. By morning, the narrative pushed harder. Stories. Hormone haze hitting hard, but we're in this together. Mason's my rock. Me cropped into a thumbnail arm around her at some forgotten brunch. Comments lit up, goals. "He's a keeper." I scrolled from the guest room, flags pinging soft. Her card declined again. Coffee run bounced. "Weird bank hiccup." She posted emoji laugh. The call started midweek. Her assistant. "Boss, the LA vendors chasing payment. Wires frozen." Ava's voice echoed down the hall, sharp. "Fix it, use personal." But personal tapped out quick. By Thursday, the chill seeped in. She cornered me in the kitchen, phone in hand. "Mason, what's going on? Accounts are locked. Joints, too." I poured coffee black. "Post-nup clause. 7B. Her face blanked, then flashed. "What, that's ancient history." Triggered. One word. "Let it land." She laughed brittle. "Over a sink clog? You're joking." "No." I set the mug down. Evidence served. Silence cracked like ice. Her eyes narrowed, scanning me like a bad brief. "This is insane. We're building something here, the narrative, the brand. You can't just, 'I didn't.'" The board unfolded in my mind, timelines, transfers, that T in the trap. She paced, words tumbling. "Fine. Freeze what you want. I'll spin it. Taking a financial reset for the family glow-up." Watch the engagement soar. Spin. Always the spin. I watched her calm. "Do what you need." Rage flickered, then calcified. "You're punishing me for what a trip work stress." Her voice rose, then dropped to venom. "Or is this your control freak side finally out?" I held the line. No defense, no fire, just the quiet click of locks engaging. She stormed out, door slamming echoes. Her stories that night, relationship ebbs and flows, holding space for growth, brought marriage real talk. Vague enough for likes, pointed enough for her circle. Harper commented, first fire emoji, "Here for you, queen." I archived it another thread in the weave. Friday brought the pivot, an email blast, anniversary glow-up. Join us for an intimate celebration of love, legacy, and new beginnings. Venue that rooftop bistro downtown, views for days, 500 a plate. Invites winged out both families, her top clients, my quiet colleagues. Black tie. Optional hearts required. The Evite winked. She CC'd me, let's show them we're unbreakable. RSVP, yes. I stared at the screenboard open beside. Her stage, her script. Perfect. Count me in, I replied, short, sealed. The planning frenzy hit. She commandeered the living room mood boards, florist calls, playlist curations. Themes renewal, she said over speakerphone, eyes on me. Candles, confessions, the works. I nodded from the couch, laptop balanced. Alerts hummed her personal line, dipping red. Agency draws halted, Laura's motion filed, but Ava plowed on undeterred. This'll reset everything. Spotlight on us, not the noise. Noise? Yeah. Her noise, the post, the trips, the tea, flushed like regret. I let her build brick by glittering brick. Mom called that afternoon. Invitation came, fancy. You okay, son? Fine. It's her show. Dad chimed in. We'll be there. Bring the truth. Something like that. Hung up, watched her hum to string quartets. Confident, unshaken. By evening, the house buzzed caterer samples dress fittings via Zoom. She twirled in a gown sample, emerald silk, catching light. What do you think, epic reveal backdrop? Stunning. Truth in that. Stunning how the web spun tight. Her parents RSVP'd, yes, eager for grandkid hints. Mine, polite affirmatives with my quiet nudge. Clients piled on, can't wait. This is content gold. She beamed, posting teasers, champagne flutes, sunset mocks. 2 weeks out. Get ready to toast the future. I mirrored it all, screenshots, RSVPs, the vendor contracts she'd fronted on credit. Declines stacking like dominoes, her spotlight blinding. But spotlights cast shadows, long ones, and in 2 weeks hers would swallow her whole. That night, as she crashed early exhaustion from the high, I slipped downstairs. Board updated event deets pinned, video queued on a secure loop. The bistro's AV system I'd looped in a tech consult last month, post-nup prep innocent enough. Now primed, one remote ping and the feed flips. Her stage, my cue, she murmured from the stairs, half asleep. Mason coming up. Soon. Door clicked. Silence settled. The countdown ticked, her storm brewing, mine already here. The night arrived like a script she'd written herself. Rooftop bistro city lights, sprawling below like scattered evidence. String lights draped the edges, tables set with crystal that caught the glow just right. Ava moved through it all, emerald gown, flowing laugh carrying over the jazz quartet. Welcome to our new beginnings, she'd say, clinking glasses with her parents, my mom and dad, exchanging polite nods across the crowd. Her clients clustered near the bar, wellness gurus, brand execs, all feeding the narrative she'd spun. I stood at the periphery suit crisp board, tucked in my mind like a loaded deck. The remote weighed light in my pocket, simple app tied to the venue's AV feed. Her stage, packed house, perfect pitch. She took the mic at 8 sharp spotlight, bathing her in gold. Ladies and gentlemen, family friends, this isn't just an anniversary. It's a reset, a chapter on love, legacy, and the family we're building. Cheers rippled. Her hand on her belly, subtle, practiced. Mason and I have faced ebbs, but tonight we're flowing forward, to miracles in motion. Applause swelled. Her eyes found mine across the tables, triumphant. I raised my glass, smile measured. To new beginnings. The quartet eased into a soft swell, piano notes curling like smoke. Guests mingled, her dad toasting, "Grandkids soon," my colleague whispering, "You two make it look easy." Ava circulated phone discreet in hand, capturing snippets for the gram. "Live from the glow up," she'd caption later. I slipped to the bar, ordered water neat. Mom sidled up, arm brushing mine. "She's radiant. Yeah, clearer than ever." Dad joined, voice low. "Timeline ready." I nodded once. "On cue." The air hummed thicker, then candle flames, dancing laughter peaking. Ava claimed the center again, pulling me into frame for a toast. Her arm linked mine, warm, performative. To my rock, my strategist. Couldn't script this without you. Snickers from her circle. Harper in the corner, wine glass, tilted eyes sharp. I leaned in, voice for her ear alone. Beautiful night. She squeezed back. The best. That's when I felt it, the slot. Remote thumbed signal sent, no flourish, just a ping. The quartet faded mid-note. Screens flanking the head table meant for slideshow memories flickered. Not our wedding clips, not the brunches. Static cleared to grainy feed. Bathroom vanity low light, the sink trap gleamed wet. A hand, manicured familiar, reached in, flushing something small. It tumbled copper tea, twisting slow into the pipe. Timestamp burned bottom corner 2 weeks back, her late dinner night. Gasps rippled first, soft, confused. Then the hush, a beat, 2, 3. The room held its breath with me. Ava's face, mid-laugh frozen, turned to the screen. Color drained like a bad transfer. What? Technical glitch? Her voice cracked the silence, tinny over the speakers. But the loop held zoom on the IUD, clear as a ledger entry. Whispers ignited. Is that? No way. Her parents' table, her mom clutching pearls, dad staring blank. Mine, mom's hand on dad's steady. Clients shifted phones, slipping out recording, now the real content. Ava spun to me, eyes wild under the lights. Mason, turn it off. This isn't... I met her gaze, unmoving. Truth doesn't glitch. The quartet stopped cold. Her circle fractured, Harper backing toward the rail face, ashen. What the hell is this? One exec barked, glass down hard. Ava lunged for the AV control's heels, clicking frantic. But the feed looped wider app screenshots, overlay fertile windows, faked timestamps mocking our journey. Then the chats. Clinics set. Mason's clueless. Heart emoji from Harper. Murmurs swelled to waves. Her dad stood, voice booming. Ava, explain. She whirled, gown tangling. It's edited. A prank. Someone's jealous of our story. But the timestamps didn't lie. Neither did the clinic receipt pulled from the board, stamped and served. Guests peeled back a circle, forming around her spotlight. That's when the door swung wide. Laura Chen strode in, tailored suit, cutting the chaos briefcase in hand. No fanfare. Just purpose. Eyes tracked her, the uninvited suit in the sea of silk. She nodded to me once, then raised her voice clear over the din. Ava Reynolds, Laura Chen, representing Mason Ellis. Service of divorce petition. Ava froze, mic slipping from her grip. It thumped the floor, feedback, screeching brief. Divorce! This is insane! Laura didn't flinch. Petition filed this morning. Infidelity clause 7B triggered. Financial freeze, active assets per contributions. No alimony. Agency draws reversed. Papers extended crisp. Sign for receipt. The room spun silent around it. Her mom's gasp cut sharp. Ava, honey. Dad's face thundercloud. You did this with our family here. Ava snatched the papers, scanning frantic. Clause 7B. That old thing, Mason, tell her it's a mistake. I stepped forward, then slow. Not to her, to the table. The ring platinum band, 8 years etched inside, slid off deliberate. No toss, no shatter. Just placed centered on the white cloth. It sat there, catching light like the tea in the trap. Her eyes locked on it, breath hitching. You're ending us over this. The hush deepened. Guests' frozen phones up, capturing the unscripted end. I looked at her, voice low for the room. It ended when the lies started. Laura cleared her throat. Further brand audit initiated. Client contracts under review for misrepresentation. Harper Ellis subpoena pending. Harper bolted, then chair scraping toward the exit. But security, my quiet call earlier, blocked polite. Ma'am. Chaos cracked open. Her clients bolted for doors, whispers exploding, PR nightmare. Lawsuit bait. Ava crumpled to the chair papers, clutched, white-knuckled. Mason, please, we can spin this. Narrative pivot, health scare, privacy breach. I shook my head once. Some stories write themselves. Turned then to Mom and Dad. Ready? They rose, arms linked my anchors. The quartet packed, silent. Lights dimmed on her glow. As we walked out, her voice chased, cracked, pleading. Mason, don't leave me like this. But the elevator doors slid shut. City hummed below unchanged. Her spotlight shattered. Mine just beginning. The board complete karma queued. And the real audit just warming up. The fallout hit like a ledger, finally balancing, slow at first, then all at once. I didn't check my phone until we hit the street, Mom and Dad flanking me like silent sentinels. By then, the clips were already spreading. Ava's glow-up toast cut to the sync feed. The gasps, Laura's serve, my ring on the table. Hashtags bloomed, Bart anniversary, fail, PR nightmare, truth, in the trap. Her followers, those loyal to the narrative, turned first. This is fake, right? Morphed to wait the IUD girl. I let it play out from the passenger seat, Dad driving us home. Mom squeezed my hand. You did what you had to. I nodded. It's just the audit closing. Back at their place, I poured Scotch single malt neat. The board opened on my laptop timeline, pulsing with updates. Alerts from the venue's security cam guests, fleeing phones out. Harper's subpoena pinged, served courtesy of a process server Laura had on speed dial. Ava's first damage control dropped at midnight. A story, blurry selfie eyes, red-rimmed. Health privacy breach tonight. Misunderstandings happen. Sending love to all affected. More soon. Boundaries. Likes trickled, then stalled. Comments, health, that's an IUD, Ava. Privacy doesn't flush evidence. By morning, her agency inbox mirrored, of course, lit up red. Client emails, pause on our collab until this clears. Need to review ethics clause. One big wellness brand. Contract terminated. Misrepresentation. $20,000 in deals, poof. I sipped coffee watching the reversals stack. That's when it hit me, the real poetry. She'd built her empire on image, on curated truths. Now the algorithm turned judge. You see, in my world of audits, we don't just chase numbers. We map the trails. Forensic timelines aren't flashy, they're surgical. Pin the dots, connect the lies, watch the pattern indict itself. I pulled up the board, added the night's footage as anchor point 4. First marker, the ovulation app fakes. Back 6 months, her peak days, scripted like a bad script. Entries logged during my Chicago audit timestamps off by hours synced to her solo calendar. Not ours. Hers alone. I'd pulled the back-end logs weeks ago, cross-referenced with her travel receipts. Fertile windows that never overlapped our nights. A narrative for the feed, not the future. Second clinic statements. Harper's wellness consults, 5 charges totaling $3,000 from our joint, not networking. Procedures. Insertion logged same day as her journey pause post. Taking time for me, she'd captioned hand on belly. Sao K stamped HIPAA-compliant pulls via Laura. No breach, just facts served cold. Third, the brand audit trail. Her agency's draws $15,000 last quarter funneled to expansion, but filings showed zip no hires, no campaigns, just LA hotels solo flights, Harper's offshore retreats, clients' NDAs shredded in the reveal. One exec's email, we signed for authenticity, this fraud adjacent. The timeline glowed, now 3 pillars unyielding. Motion graphic in my head, dots linking, red lines snaking to collapse. Audit stamped. Filed. Final. It wasn't revenge. It was revelation, her house of cards audited line by line. Laura called mid-morning. Petitions in. Post-nup holds ironclad. Judge fast tracks for high profile. Reputation hits. They're bailing like rats. Harper's Depot next week, perjury if she spins. I leaned back, board minimized. Ava's next post, full video plea. A private health matter twisted public. Mason and I are working through. Respect our space. Our family first. Views 200,000. Comments 4-1 against. Space, you flushed the truth. Working through that ring said otherwise. Her parents called me that afternoon. Voicemail strained. Mason, we saw. Can't believe. Talk I didn't return it. Not yet. The reversal was in motion, her spotlight inverting to a glare. That's the thing about reputation in the digital age. It's not built on whispers anymore. It's a court of screens where evidence votes louder than alibis. One clip, one timestamp, and the jury, your followers, your clients, renders verdict without appeal. We used to think power lay in the room in the handshakes and NDAs, but screens level it. Anyone with a phone becomes juror and facts there the gavel. Ava's empire crumbled not because I pushed, but because the feed pulled back the curtain. Her narrative exposed as script, her authenticity as artifice. In that court, there's no jury nullification for charm, no mistrial for tears, just the scroll of judgment infinite and unforgiving. She'd mastered the stage. Now, it mastered her. By evening, the calls rolled in from my side anyway. Colleagues, saw the clip? Bold move? Drinks Friday? Trevor, old audit partner? Heard through the grapevine? If you need backup on the board, I'm in. I built it out further that night, strings taut between pins. The IUD as keystone chats, as crossbeams finances, as foundation crack. Not a revenge wall, a mirror. Reflecting her choices back unfiltered. Ava's feed went dark, then stories deleted, profile muted. Whispers from her circle, Harper ghosted agency staff jumping ship. One leaked email, boss the board's demanding audit, your draws, audit. The word she'd mocked in our post-nup talks. Now it echoed her own trap sprung. I closed the laptop, poured another scotch. The courtroom date slotted 2 weeks out expedited given the publicity. Laura prepped me over coffee. Judge Harlan, by the book, post-nups gold. Contested, she's scrambling, but evidence yours. We walked in sharp. Her side late lawyer flustered Ava pale in pearls that screamed overkill. Her narrative pivot, marital discord privacy invasion. Judge eyed the board projection timeline sprawling across the screen. Mr. Ellis, he said, glasses perched. This, comprehensive. Contributions documented, Your Honor. Clause 7B clear. She shifted, voice small. It was a mistake. Health scare. Laura slid the exhibit's video statements app logs. Health doesn't falsify fertility for profit. The gavel hovered as he scanned. Petition granted. Assets per agreement. No alimony. Reputation damages her burden. Hammer fell. Clean. Ava's gasp cut the air, her lawyer murmuring appeals that wouldn't stick. I met her eyes once, not triumph, just finality. Take care. Outside paparazzi flashbulbs, her doing ironically. Feed frenzy from the party. She ducked into a cab world shrinking. Mine expanding. The financials cleared days later. House equity mine agency, hers stripped of our funds. $120,000 back in my accounts, clean transfer. Her draws reversed, penalties tacked. But the real hit intangible. Sponsors ghosted that baby gear line, blacklisted her for life. Wellness collabs, ethics breach. Harper's subpoena, Snowball Depot transcripts leaked her retreats, exposed as fronts. Ava's follower count halved overnight, from power queen to punchline. Comments lingered. Karma's a glitch she couldn't spin. I archived the board that week, digital vault just in case. But the timeline stayed etched, 3 markers, a life reclaimed. Not destruction, disclosure. And in that quiet audit of aftermath, one truth solidified. Lies build fast on sand, but facts they endure like bedrock. Her reversal wasn't my win, it was hers unpaid. Mom found me on the porch that night, stars sharp overhead. Feels settled. More than that, smart. She smiled, handing tea. To new ledgers, I clinked mugs. To the ones that balance. But as the steam rose, a ping, Laura's update. Her appeal filed, wants mediation. Mediation. Her last spin. My thumb hovered. Reply. Or let the court of screens decide round 2. The dust settled, but the echoes lingered. Ava's feed, once ablaze, dimmed to flickers. Stories, archived posts, pruned desperate edits chasing the algorithm's mercy. Her last public gasp, a black and white reel voiceover soft. Lessons in loss, grateful for the journey, even the detours. Views crawled to a halt. Comments, a graveyard of side eyes. Detours or dead ends. From queen to cautionary tale. I didn't watch it live. Too busy reclaiming the quiet I'd forgotten existed. But the reversal, it unfolded like a slow audit, her spotlight inverting pixel by pixel. That's the quiet genius of reputation in the rear view. It doesn't just fade, it flips. The narrative you sold becomes the warning others heed. One day, you're the influencer inspiring millions. The next, you're the case study in what not to post. Brands don't forget, they blacklist. Followers don't forgive, they unfollow en masse. And the real sting, it's self-inflicted. Her spins, once gold, now glue her feet. Every pivot screams damage control. Every plea reeks of the very inauthenticity she peddled. In the court of public memory, the verdict sticks, not victim, but architect of her own unravel. Her parents cut contact. First voicemails, deleted invites returned unread. Harper vanished into a subpoena haze, her retreats rebranded as retreats from reality. Ava's agency, shell of itself clients scattering like leaves in a data storm. I caught glimpses through Laura's updates, mediation requests, piling up her lawyer, folding under the weight of exhibits. She's offering concessions, Laura said over a quick call. Half the house equity back, no contest on the draws. I paused, staring at the board, now archived a relic. No. Not spite, just sense. The scales had tipped and tipping back, that was her math to solve. Mine balanced clean. Therapy started small. A weekly slot with Dr. Ellis, no relation, but the name felt like fate. Gray hair, no-nonsense pad questions that cut without bleeding. First session. What do you miss most? I thought of the morning's coffee brewing, her scrolling us in sync before the scripts took over. Not her, I said. The U.S. I thought we had. He nodded. And now, building a me I recognize. We mapped it out, boundaries as ledgers, trust as audited entries, not walls filters. Sessions stretched to walks in the park, air-crisp leaves turning like pages. Mom noticed first. You're lighter, she said over pie one Sunday. Dad grunted agreement, passing the whipped cream. We talked then, not the fallout, but the forward. Garden's golf scores my quiet pivot at work. The house sold quick, our old one stage neutral closed in 30 days. Proceeds split per the ruling, my half seated a down payment on something smaller, mine alone. Oak floors, big windows, a study for the board I'd never need again. Mornings their gold. Sun slicing through blinds, coffee solo, but steady. No pings, no narratives, just the hum of a life unscripted. I'd journal sometimes, timelines, not of lies, but launches. That's when the workshop idea sparked. A client audit gone sideways, fraud in a startup's books founder spinning tales to investors. I walked them through the board dots, connected trails exposed. Data integrity, I said. Not just for ledgers, for life. They leaned in. Teach it, so I did. Data integrity for life, a 6-week series, evenings at the community center. First night, 10 guys, chairs scraped in a circle. Ages 25 to 45, nods of recognition as I sketched the basics. Trust isn't blind, it's verified. Apps glitch, people pivot, but facts they anchor. We built mini boards, one for a buddy's shady business partner, another for spotting red flags and dating profiles. Hands shot up. What about the emotional side? I paused, Dr. Ellis's words echoing. That's the twist. Audit the heart, same as the wallet, quietly, methodically. No drama, just due diligence. Laughter rippled. Heads nodded. Checkmate. Word spread. Sessions filled 20, then 30. Guys sharing war stories, the ex who drained the joint, the boss who gaslit the team. I'd facilitate, not preach. Your move evidence first, then execute. One night, a regular, call him Jake, 32, fresh off a breakup, slid me a coffee after. Man, it's what I needed. Not revenge, reset. I clinked mugs. That's the win. Ava's world, a counterpoint in shadows. I'd hear fragments, her hold up in a rental downtown, lights low, scrolling ghosts. Laura's briefs painted it, mediations stalled her pivots, landing flat. echoes from the feed-archived clips resurfacing in lessons learned threads. Remember Ava's glow-up, glow-down city. Memes of T-shaped sinks, captions, dripping irony, her narrative reversed to relic. Once the chaser of spotlights, now chased by them, paps at her door, whispers in her DMs. Split screen in my mind, her under fluorescent hum, phone glow the only company. Mind dawn-breaking workshop notes scattered a text from mom. Dinner soon. Light winning frame by frame. The reversal's gift perspective. She chased the noise built on illusions feeds that fed her ego, not her foundation. Me, I learned the quiet power integrity as currency stronger than any viral spike. It doesn't roar, it endures. Her empire crumbled under likes. Mine rose on lines that balanced true. Bin, yen, peace not in the applause but the exhale after. One evening post-session I lingered on the porch. Stars pricked the sky, air cool with promise. Phone buzzed Jake. Next week's packed. You changing lives, man. I smiled into the dark. Not lives, ledgers, hours. But as the night deepened, a shadow pinged Laura's line. Ava's pushing for a sit-down, one last play. Sit-down, her final frame. My thumb hovered. Peace held. But plays, they always had a counter. The email landed on a Tuesday, unannounced. Subject, one last thing. From Ava's old address, the one tied to her agency, now forwarding to a ghost account. I opened it at the kitchen table, steam curling from my mug. Mason, I know words won't fix this, but I need you to hear it wasn't about you. It was me chasing shadows I thought were light. The narrative, it swallowed me whole. I'm sorry. For the lies, the stage, everything. If there's closure in reading this, know I regret the clog more than the spotlight. Regret the clog. Poetic in her way. I read it twice, letting the words settle like dust. No rage left. Just the faint echo of what we'd buried. My reply took 5 minutes. Typed slow, no drafts. Ava closure isn't in emails. It's in the quiet after. The truth doesn't need a spin doctor. It stands on its own. Take care of yours. Send. Deleted the thread. Screen dark. Sometimes revenge isn't the sweet rush you imagine. It's not the viral clip, the courtroom gavel, the follower drop that hits like a gut punch. Those are the highs, the dopamine spikes that keep you scrolling late, wondering if justice tastes like victory lap. But here's the twist. No one whispers, it fades. The board comes down, the alerts silence, and you're left with you. Not the hero in the highlight reel, but the guy staring at his reflection, asking if the win was worth the wait. Quiet justice isn't about the noise, the memes, the subpoenas, the empires crumble. It's the slow rebuild brick by unglamorous brick. The therapy couch where you unpack not just her lies, but your blind spots. The walks where you learn to trust your gut without a timestamp. And yeah, it stings sweeter in silence. No applause for the nights you choose peace over payback. No likes for logging off the drama feed. But that's the real checkmate, walking away whole, not hollowed out by the hunt. I learned it the hard way. Post-ruling, when the dust cleared and the workshop hummed steady, I chased that high. Scrolled the threads, Ava's old posts, repurposed as red flag reels, her name a punchline in guy group chats. Felt the rush sure, but mornings after empty. Like auditing a victory that left the vault lighter. Dr. Ellis called it the karma hangover. We all chase the fall, forget the footing. Revenge scripts the end, but healing. That's improv. Messy unglued, no director's cut. You trade the spotlight for sunlight work that warms, not burns. The ring went into a drawer that week. Not tossed, not melted. Just tucked beside the cufflinks from our wedding. A relic, not a reminder. Then the scan that Copper T printed crisp from the plumber's report. I framed it simple, black matte, no caption. Truth is physical. Set it on the shelf in the study next to the workshop binders. A talisman, maybe. Or a bookmark page turned story shelved. It catches the light now morning through the blinds, a glint that says, you saw it. You acted. Now live. Mom came over that weekend, thermos in hand, chai tea her fix spiced strong, just how I like. We sat on the porch, steam mingling with the breeze. House feels like you, she said, eyes on the garden I'd half started. Empty, but good empty. I nodded, sipping slow. Yeah, room to breathe. She didn't pry about the email, knew better. Talk turned to small stakes, her roses blooming, late dad's new putter, the neighbor's dog that barks at shadows. Laughter easy, the kind that fills without forcing. Wind picked up then cool off the lake rustling leaves like pages flipping forward. Sun crested the trees, dust motes dancing in the beam. One landed on the table, gold-flecked, gone in a blink. That's when it hit the real tagline. Not the clapback, not the clip. The quiet close in the game of hearts. The smartest move is knowing when to fold and walk into the dawn. Fade to that. No credits. Just the exhale. Here's the next story. The party was called Midnight Gold. Balloons in shimmering black and gold floated like promises over the banquet hall. Our daughter Lila's sweet 16, 300 guests, crystal chandeliers a cake taller than she was. I stood at the head table, beaming. Ava, my wife of 18 years, squeezed my hand under the tablecloth. Our sons Jacob and Noah fidgeted in their bow ties beside her. Lila, radiant in her gold gown, blew out 16 candles to thunderous applause. Then came the gifts. A velvet box labeled Family Memories Forever. Ava handed it to me with a wink. Open it with the kids, Nathan. Make it special. I lifted the lid. Inside 3 sealed envelopes. Thick official, labeled 1, 2, 3. Curiosity turned to confusion as I tore the first open. A DNA report. Paternity test results subject Lila Marie Harlan. Father not Nathan James Harlan. The room spun. I ripped the second. Jacob. Father Daniel Reese. Third. Noah. Father Gregory Voss. Ava's voice cut through the silence like ice. 15 minutes, get out of my house. The guests gasped. Lila's face crumpled. But a crash echoed from downstairs, a basement door slamming. I bolted, heart pounding, leaving the wreckage behind. It was the safe, forced open, papers spilling like confetti from hell. That crash in the basement pulled me back from the edge. I stumbled down the stairs, the party's laughter fading like a bad dream above me. The safe door hung open, its lock jimmied clean off. Papers everywhere, deed statements, a hard drive blinking like it knew it was caught. But that came later. First, I had to rewind, because none of this exploded out of nowhere. Our life looked perfect on the surface. A flawless wedding, 3 kids, a house that screamed success. I built it all brick by brick as a systems architect for a tech firm. Ava stayed home, freelanced graphic design when it suited her. We were the couple everyone envied. Flashback to our wedding 12 years ago. Sun-drenched vineyard in Napa. Ava in white lace eyes locked on mine like I was her only horizon. Vows exchanged under an arch of roses. Till death do us part, she whispered, and I believed it. The reception buzzed family friends and those 3 guys who always hovered on the edges. Daniel Reese, her old college buddy, the smooth-talking marketer with a laugh too loud. Mike Harlan, no relation to me, thank God, her artistic collaborator, always sketching in corners. Greg Voss, the freelance consultant, quiet but intense, like he was calculating odds on everything. They weren't groomsmen, but they were there, toasting us, clinking glasses with Ava a beat too long. I chalked it up to history. Her circle, I told myself. Solid guys, or so it seemed. Cut to the first red flag 3 years in. Lila's birth. Hospital room glowing under fluorescence. Ava cradling her exhausted but radiant. I snapped photos, our first family portrait. But later, scrolling the bank app on my phone, a transfer popped up. $5,000 from our joint savings to an account labeled School Fund for Lila. Ava shrugged it off. Just prepping for her future. Diapers aren't cheap. I nodded. Made sense. But the account, it routed through a shell LLC under Mike's name. Freelance gigs, she said. Collaborative projects. I let it slide. We were building a life. Next clip. Jacob's baptism 5 years back. Church bells tolling soft in the background. Ava in a sundress holding him like a trophy. Daniel stood right there, arm around her shoulder in the photos. Uncle Dan, we called him. The kids adored him. But that night, my phone buzzed with a deleted text notification. Hers synced to our family cloud by accident. A thread with Greg meet at the usual need-to-talk timelines. Timestamps late after I'd crashed from a 12-hour code sprint. I confronted her gently over coffee. "What's the usual?" Ava's eyes widened, then softened. "Client stuff. You know how freelance is vague hours, deleted drafts to keep it clean." She leaned in, kissed my cheek. "Trust me, Nate. It's nothing. Trust." That word hung like smoke. I buried it. Our culture didn't do waves. My grandma Harlan, God rest her, always said the same. "Don't stir the water, boy. Muddy bottoms hide the truth, but clear ones drown you in it. Family first. Silence as virtue." So I swallowed the doubt. Kept providing. Promotions came, salary doubled. House paid off early. Kids in private school. But the flags kept waving. Noah's first birthday 2 years ago. Backyard bash balloons everywhere. Ava laughing with the three of them, Daniel grilling Mike, snapping pics, Greg mixing drinks. They fit like puzzle pieces I hadn't noticed were missing. Later, another transfer. $8,000. "Extracurriculars for the boys," she explained. "Account Daniel's marketing firm. He's sponsoring a trust for their college." Freelance blurred into mystery. Ava's design side hustle never showed invoices, just vague posts on social art teasers that vanished, deleted messages piled up in the cloud ghosts. One fragment I caught Greg to her, "Discretion on the NDA. The timeline's tight. NDA. Non-disclosure. For what art?" Grandma's voice echoed again during a holiday call last Christmas. I'd hinted at the unease the way Ava's phone lit up at odd hours. "Nathan James," she drawled, voice thick with years. "Men like us, we fix roofs, not families. Stirring water just makes everyone wet. Let sleeping dogs code their own bugs." She chuckled, but her eyes, sharp even through the screen, held a warning. Our line Harlan men endured, provided, never questioned the frame. I hung up heavier, nodded along at home. Ava's hugs felt warmer after. The kids thrived. Lila's straight A's, Jacob's soccer trophies, Noah's first words, Dada, clear as day, Dada, me. Now back in the basement, pieces slammed into place like code compiling errors I'd ignored. I swept the papers into piles, bank statements, first transfers totaling over $50,000 over 8 years, routed through Mike's LLC for Lila's art fund, Daniel's firm for Jacob's athletic scholarship, Greg's consultancy for Noah's future investments. Patterns emerged. Dates synced to her late nights. Amounts spiked after family milestones. I grabbed my phone, snapped timestamps on everything. The hard drive NAS unit blinking red. Plugged it in quick. Folders labeled private. Opened one photos, not ours. Ava with Mike timestamped during my work trip to Seattle. Another with Daniel Hotel lobby, Jacob's age. Greg in a park, Noah on his shoulders same day as that birthday bash. Texts recovered from backups. "We can't keep this up," from her to all 3 dated 6 months ago. "But the support? It's for the kids." Their replies, Daniel's, "Anything for our boy." Mike's Lila's worth every sketch. Greg's timeline secure, NDA holds. The wall built itself in my mind. I pinned it mentally, receipts on one side, timelines on the other. Split-screen life, wedding bliss over buried transfers. Baptism, joy masking deleted threads. Grandma's advice, a veil over the void. Ava's voice drifted down the stairs, sharp now. "Nathan, what's taking so long?" The party's murmur swelled guests whispering. Lila's sob cut through. I straightened. The puzzle locked. Not just betrayal. A system. Designed. Executed. And now exposed. But exposure wasn't the end game, it was check. My move. I didn't waste a second down there in the basement. The safe's contents lay scattered like a confession spilled from a drunk uncle at Thanksgiving. NDAs, first 3 of them, yellowed edges signed in Ava's looping script. One for each Daniel, Mike, Greg. Clauses buried in legalese about discrete support arrangements and non-interference with primary household. Child support rerouted through trusts to look like gifts. $52,000 total funneled over 8 years. My money, our money, their insurance policy. The NAS drive hummed its light, pulsing like a guilty heartbeat. I yanked the cord, pocketed it. No time to dive deeper. Footsteps thumped overhead, Ava's heels sharp and impatient. The party's hush had turned to a low roar of whispers. Lila's voice cracked through the floorboards. "Dad, what's happening?" "What's—" I pulled out my phone. Flash on, snap. Timestamp overlay burned into every shot, 8:47 p.m., NDA page 1. Close up on the signature line. Next bank transfers highlighted in my mind from the cloud ghosts. 8,000 to Daniel's firm dated Jacob's baptism weekend. Snap, 5,000 to Mike's LLC right after Lila's first gallery show, Ava's collaboration exhibit. Snap. The patterns screamed louder than any alarm. Ava's shadow fell across the stairwell light. "Nathan, the guests are asking questions. Get up here and fix this." Her tone dripped honey over venom, the kind that used to charm boardrooms now aimed at corralling chaos. I didn't look up, just kept cataloging. Hard copies of emails recovered from the drive's quick scan. "Timeline secure," Greg had written. "NDA holds as long as the support flows." Snap. The irony hit like code compiling clean on a bug-ridden script. They'd built their safety net from my threads. She descended 2 steps. "This is insane. You're making a scene over—" "Papers, come on, Nate. For the kids' sake." For the kids. There it was, her go-to shield. I straightened phone, still in hand, screen glowing with the last timestamp, 8:49 p.m. Met her eyes calm the way I'd learned in deposition prep during that custody case at work. No heat, just facts. For the kids, Ava. That's why Daniel's firm got 12,000 last quarter labeled scholarship seed, or Mike's cut for art mentorship that never showed on our taxes. Her face flickered surprise, then the pivot. It was support. We needed help. Freelance dried up. You were always traveling. I did it for us. For them. Tears welled, practiced. The ones that worked on juries on me back when doubt was just a glitch. I nodded once. Dry. Noted. No argument. No raised voice. Arguing feeds the loop. Evidence starves it. I thumbed open my secure app, the one tied to my firm's VPN. Encrypted tunnel. Hit Attorney Lynn's contact. She'd handled my exec bonuses, trust the works. Ironclad. Lynn emergency packet incoming. Paternity discrepancies. Multiple NDAs breached. Asset traces attached. Custody implications. Advise on freeze order. Upload zipped through. Photos. Drive metadata. Transfer logs time-stamped. The whoosh confirmed receipt. 8:51 p.m. Ava stepped closer, hand on the railing. "What are you doing?" "Nathan, stop. This is our family night." Our family. The word hung. I pocketed the phone. Activated the playbook, my internal one built from late-night reads on asset protection. Step 1, isolate. No crosstalk. Step 2, document. Done. Step 3, contain the blast radius. I brushed past her up the stairs. She followed, heels clicking like a metronome counting down. The living room loomed. Guests clustered in awkward pods, cousins sipping wine too fast, Lila's friends scrolling phones under the table, Jacob and Noah huddled by the cake, eyes wide. Daniel hovered near the bar, Mike by the photos, Greg checking his watch. Like sentinels at a funeral they didn't expect to attend. I crossed to the TV console. Smart screen synced to the home hub. Pulled up the custom app I'd coded last year for game nights, timers, nothing sinister. Now it flipped on. Full wall. Bold red digits 15:00. A countdown synced to atomic clock. Ticking soft but visible. Unignorable. Ava froze behind me. "What the hell is that?" "Timer," I said, flat. 15 minutes. As you said. I turned to the room, voice even. No shout. Just projection, the kind that cuts through bored noise. "Everyone, attention please." Heads turned. Lila stood, gown rustling. "Dad," The clock ticked to 14:59, faint metronome underlay from the speakers, subtle like a pulse. Guests shifted. Daniel's glass paused mid-sip. "Change of plans." I scanned them, met each eye, Mike's squint, Greg's furrow, Daniel's forced smile, Ava's gasp. "Ava has an announcement, but first the facts. 3 envelopes, 3 results. Lila Daniel Reese, Jacob Michael Harlan, Noah Gregory Voss." Murmurs rippled. Phones emerged. The clock 14:58. Ava lunged forward. "This is private, turn it off." I sidestepped. Calm. "It's public now. You made it so." To the room. "You've all been generous. Trusts, gifts, support." Air quotes on that last. Snap of fingers like underscoring code. "But NDAs don't cover fraud or custody filings." Greg paled. "Nathan, let's talk. Off the record." "Everything's on record." I nodded to the corner cams, our security rig always rolling. Cloud-backed. "Cameras caught the safe break-in downstairs. Timestamps matched the transfers." The clock hit 14:57. Tick. Guests backed up. Lila's friend whispered, "Holy shit. Ava whirled on me. You're destroying us for what pride?" "No, for precision." The playbook hummed in my head. Lynn's reply buzzed silent in my pocket. "Received. Freeze initiating. Custody petition drafting. Stay contained. Extraction team en route if needed." I didn't check it. Just watched the timer. 14:56. The air thickened, pressure building like a system overload. Daniel edged toward the door. Mike muttered to a cousin. Greg's hand twitched for his phone. This wasn't rage. It was the first move. Cold. Calculated. The board reset. But they didn't know the half. The real pressure. It wasn't the clock. It was what ticked beneath Lynn's network, pulling strings on asset holds, tracing every dollar back to source. 15 minutes to comply, or watch the freeze spread. Ava's eyes darted. "Please, Nate, the kids." Jacob tugged my sleeve. "Dad, is it true?" I knelt eye level. "Truth's out, buddy, but we're okay. Timers for them." Nodded up. The clock 14:55. She crumpled into a chair. Sobs started, real ones maybe. Or the best act yet. I stood, watched, waited. The metronome synced perfect. Tick. The game had flipped. Their move or mine. The sobs hit like a wave crashing against the timer's relentless tick. Ava doubled over in that chair, hands clawing at her dress like it could pull her back from the brink. "Nathan, you're a machine. A cold, heartless machine. How can you do this? On her night with everyone watching." Guests shifted, eyes darting between us. Lila's friends clustered tighter, phones half hidden but rolling. My cousins murmured low, the aunties fanning themselves like this was a soap opera gone live. The air thickened, that party polish cracking under the weight. I didn't flinch. Just watched the clock. 14:54. "Ava." "Noted." Voice steady like logging a bug report. No fuel for the fire. Arguing. "That's how they win, drag you into the emotional mud." I sidestepped her reach eyes on the trio. Daniel, Mike, Greg. They stood frozen near the bar faces, paling like bad code under debug. Daniel broke first. Stepped forward, hands up like surrendering a bad hand. "Nate, buddy, this is a misunderstanding. Huge one. Those tests, lab mix-up. Happens all the time. Remember that conference in Vegas? We laughed about faulty kits." His laugh forced out too bright. Trapped. Deflecting to old times like nostalgia could erase DNA strips. The clock, 14:53. Strings plucked sharp in my head, staccato notes building under the metronome. I nodded. "Misunderstanding. Got it." Tapped my phone. The corner cams blinked red always on cloud synced. Multi-angle feed popped on the TV inset living room wide bar close-up stairwell feed. Lower third crawled, recorded. Red. Bold. Mike jumped in next, voice pitching high. "Yeah, man. Those transfers gifts? No strings? For the kids' future. Art supplies for Lila, her sketches, genius. I just facilitated." He shrugged, palms out like it was a favor between pals. Blame shift subtle, not his fault, just helpful uncle vibes. Eyes flicked to Ava, then away. Guilt in the dodge. 1452. I mirrored the nod. Gifts, facilitated, understood. The feed zoomed on his FaceTime stamp overlay. 8:53 p.m. Every word logged. No interruptions, just receipt. Greg hung back, arms crossed, that consultant cool cracking. Look, Nathan. Timelines were tight. Business pressures. The NDA's standard boilerplate for collaborations. Ava needed support, freelance ebbs and flows. We minimized risks. His tone clipped, rationalizing like a pitch deck. Downplay the mess, not betrayal, just logistics. Fingers drummed his thigh tell under stress. The room pressed in. Ava's cries ramped up, theatrical now. See, they're good men, helping us. You're twisting it all. She lunged at my arm nails, grazing. Monster, destroying everything for your ego. Jacob whimpered beside me. Noah buried his face in my leg. Lila hovered, tears streaking mascara. Mom, Dad? I knelt again quick, shielded them with my frame. It's okay, guys. This is grown-up stuff. Timer's almost half gone. Stay close. To Ava, twisting, ego, recorded, stood smooth. Clock 14:51. Halfway mark loomed 7 minutes down, 8 to go. Pressure dialed up, air heavy like pre-storm static. That's when the protocol kicked in. Public extraction. Not my invention, pulled from Lynn's playbook years back during a firm merger gone sour. Step 1, isolate risks. No private corners for whispers or deals. Everything exposed, witnessed. Step 2, witnesses as buffer. Guests here. Neutral ground. No escalation to hands or shouts, cameras deter that cold. Step 3, exit controlled. No chase, no drama. Just compliance or consequences. I'd prepped it mental hours ago, post-basement dive. Activated now with a glance to the door, unlocked clear path. Cams covered egress. Gentlemen, I said even, addressed the three. Appreciate the clarifications. Statements logged. No debate needed. Paused, half-beat. Let it sink. Ava's timeline stands. Exit in order. Daniel first north door. Mike east patio. Greg garage side. Vehicles prepped good. Daniel sputtered. What, you can't just, this is our home too? Sweat beaded his collar. Deflection failed. Now cornered, lashing vague ownership. Noted. Feed caught it all, his flush the stammer. 1450. Staccato strings jabbed sharper, sinking to heartbeats in the room. Ava wailed louder. You're evicting them us like criminals! She pointed wild at the kids. Think of them, this trauma. Trauma from truth. Lila's voice cut small but steel. My girl 16 going on ancient. Stepped forward, chin up. You did this, Mom. Silence snapped. Guests inhaled collective. Ava recoiled like slapped. Mike edged back. Nate, come on. For old times, let's talk outside. Private. Private's over. I gestured the TV feeds, multiplying split-screen their faces. Public now. Protocols clear. Safe removal. Witnesses confirm. No incidents. The logic locked it, de-escalate by design. Hands stay clean. Force stays off table. Lynn's voice echoed in my head. Extraction isn't eviction. It's boundary enforcement. Documented, witnessed, irreversible. Greg tried last. Legal. This holds up, you're bluffing. Clock 14:49. Bluff. Check your accounts. Freeze hits in 3. Lynn's update buzzed, silent assets, locked traces running. Their firms tangled now. Protocol proceeds. North door Daniel. He hesitated, eyes wild. Then moved. Slow. Guests parted like Red Sea. Door clicked open, night air rushed in, party lights mocking from the yard. Ava surged up. Stop him! This is madness! I blocked, gentle body, not force. Let it play. For the kids. Noah clung tighter. The pressure peaked, halfway crossed, storm core hitting. Whispers swelled. Did he just? Phones angled discreet. Mike followed, mumbling. This isn't right. We'll sort it. Patio door whooshed. Gone. Greg lingered longest, met my eyes calculator to calculator. You planned this. Adapted. Simple. He nodded once, grim. Garage path. Door thud. 3 out. Under 7 minutes. Ava collapsed again, keening. What have you done? Protected. Clock 14:45. Strings faded to hum. Room exhaled, shaky. Protocol held no blows, no scenes. Just clean lines drawn. But the half mark wasn't relief, it was the pivot. Their absence vacuum sucking in reality. Lila touched my hand. Dad, soon, kiddo. I scanned the faces' shocked pity nods from the uncles who got it. The air crackled, still Phi Lee thick as fog. Ava's accusations, fuel for her fire, not mine. She'd call me machine again, heartless, but machines they run clean code. No crashes, no overrides. The timer ticked on. 8 minutes left. Their storm breaking, mine just brewing. The timer's glow dominated the room, now red digits slicing through the haze like a verdict. 09:32. Guests had thinned, some slipping out with mumbled excuses, others rooted in morbid fascination phones still angled like vultures. Ava rocked in her chair, mascara rivers carving her cheeks. You think this ends it? You'll regret this, Nathan. All of us will. I didn't respond, just monitored the feed. Daniel's car peeled out the north drive, captured crisp on the exterior cam. Mike's taillights faded east. Greg's garage door rumbled shut. Exits logged. No tails, no loops back. Protocol Phase 1, clear the board. Lila stood sentinel by the kids, her gold gown a wilted flag. Jacob clutched a half-eaten cake slice, chocolate smeared like war paint. Noah's thumb found his mouth-old habit from teething days. My chest tightened, but I boxed it. Emotions later. Clock now, 09:27. Ava's phone buzzed on the side table, ignored. Mine vibrated silent in my pocket. Lynn. I thumbed accept routing to the TV. Split screen flipped main feed to a secure video link. Attorney Lynn's face materialized, sharp suit, sharper eyes. Mid-40s like me, divorce vet asset shark. We'd prepped contingencies over coffee last month, casual. Hypotheticals, I'd called them, now live. Nathan. Her voice cut clean, no preamble. Packet received. Traces confirm $52,000 routed through 3 entities. NDAs breached on disclosure clauses. Paternity voids, support veils. Freeze orders filed. Daniel Reese's firm accounts locked pending audit. Michael Harlan's LLC liens on art fund assets. Gregory Voss's consultancy holds on investment timelines. The room inhaled sharp. Ava's head snapped up. Who the hell is that? Lynn didn't blink. Elena Lynn Harlan, Family Counsel. Ma'am, this call documents violations under California Family Code Section 3100 fiduciary breach in marital assets. 3-step enforcement active. Ava lurched forward. You can't. This is harassment. Get off my screen. I raised a hand, gentle, firm. She's documenting, like the rest. Clock 09:22. The legal code playbook unspooled in my head, Lynn's template from that merger case. Step 1, lay the breach bare, no accusations, just statutes cold as code. Lynn leaned in screen, tri-splitting, now her face center flanks, pulling live statements from the packet. Daniel's email chain, scholarship seed for Jacob, 8,000 wired clean. Timestamp, baptism weekend. Mike's invoice ghosts. Mentorship retainer, Lila's fund, 5,000 quarterly. Greg's ledger snippet. Timeline support, Noah's growth account, 12,000 last fiscal. Exhibit A through C. Lynn continued, voice metronome steady. Funds mislabeled as gifts, but traces show spousal commingling. Primary earner, Nathan Harlan. Diversion intent evident. Custody implications. Sole parental rights petition. Drafting biological affirmations pending, but presumption favors stability provider. Guests whispered. An uncle nodded, slow getting it. Lila's eyes widened, piecing her own puzzle. Ava bolted up, chair scraping. Lies, it was for them. For us, I was scared, okay? Scared you'd leave like my dad did. Bail on the mess. Daniel, Mike, Greg, they stepped up. Held the line when you were buried in code. Her voice cracked raw fear, bleeding through the fury. I built safety nets. For the kids. You think you're the hero? You're just absent? The words landed like shrapnel. Absent. That old knife twisted now. Late nights debugging bonuses for Brace's college scouts. But I held frame. Playbook step 2. Don't engage the narrative. Redirect to terms. Lynn interjected smooth. Ma'am, fear doesn't authorize fraud. Terms immediate cessation of contact outside counsel. Asset division per prenup household primary to Harlan Trust. Child support recalibration 0 from secondary parties, full from marital pool. Violation escalates to contempt filings. Clock 09:15, rise in the score. Subtle strings swelling tension coiling like a spring. Ava whirled to me, eyes wild. See machine, all of you, turning my life into legalese. Lila stepped forward, then small, frame, big voice. Mom. Pause. The room hushed. You say scared of Dad leaving? She glanced at me, steel in her gaze. But you left first. Built this web with them. Abandoned what we had for what-ifs. Her chin trembled, but she held. You abandoned yourself. Ava staggered back, hand to mouth. Lila, baby, no, I did it for you, all of you. The tri-split pulsed statements glaring irrefutable. Daniel's our boy. Mike's worth every sketch. Greg's NDA holds. Patterns locked, not support. Sustenance for secrets. I spoke then first words in minutes. Low, measured. Ava. Met her eyes, no heat. From now on, all contact through lawyers. This house no longer a stage. Paused 2 beats, let it echo. The air thickened, breathless. Curtains down. She crumpled. Sobs real now, gut deep. Guests averted eyes, some slipping out final. Clock 09:08. Strings peaked then, drop. Silence slammed in, broken only by a faint impact hit like a gavel soft. Lynn nodded. Step 3, compliance confirmation. Extraction logged exits recorded no incidents. Petition serves by dawn. Nathan stand by for affidavits. Screen blinked off. Back to timer solo. Overall hit, exact. Overlay flashed. Complied, exited. Freeze frame locked. Empty doorways, night beyond. The board cleared. Ava slid to the floor, whispers turning to quiet exodus. Lila knelt beside her arm, tentative. Mom, I gathered the boys' shields again. Jacob's eyes searched mine. Dad, we go now. Soon. Voice steady, hugged them close. The satisfaction crept in initial sharp. Not joy. Vindication. The breach sealed terms enforced, their web unraveled by its own threads. But as the last guest nodded farewell, Ava's whisper cut through. You win. Happy now. Win number reset. The house breathed empty truth settling like dust. Clock gone dark. Playbook complete. Yet the real endgame tomorrow's filings. Their freezes just the start. Karma's cold but precise. And mine was only warming up. Sunlight sliced through the blinds like a scalpel carving the living room into stark halves, shadow, and reveal. I woke on the sectional neck stiff from the makeshift pillow of throw blankets. The house hummed quiet, that post-storm hush where echoes linger. Clock on the wall, 6:47 a.m. Kids still asleep upstairs, barricaded in Lila's room after the exodus. Ava gone by dawn, Lynn's team escorting her to a neutral spot for processing. No drama, just protocol. Coffee brewed automatic dark roast, no sugar. I sat at the kitchen island, laptop open. Screen glowed with Lynn's overnight digest, freeze confirmed. All 3 accounts, Daniel's firm, Mike's LLC, Greg's consultancy, locked under temporary injunction. Traces complete $52,000 reclaimed, routed back to the marital trust. Prenup clauses activated, no alimony bridge assets, split per contribution logs. My logs, time-stamped, ironclad. The module slotted in seamless here that financial freeze and notice pack from Lynn's template. Not revenge. Rebalance. Step 1. Compile the pack. Affidavits, exhibit scans, breach summaries. PDF bundle watermarked encrypted headers. Step 2. CC, chain me Lynn their counsel if disclosed family court clerk. Step 3. Send staggered, one per recipient with red receipts. Cold. Precise. Lets the law do the talking, no fingerprints from me. I attach the core notice of asset hold. Bold header. Pursuant to California Family Code, Section 721 fiduciary duties breached. Funds diverted $8,000, Jacob Harlan scholarship mislabel, lien active pending restitution. Daniels first. Hit send. Whoosh through the speaker's email launch clean arc. His inbox pinged in my mind's eye split-tile preview, Daniel at his desk, sunrise over the marina coffee steaming. Screen lit, subject, urgent, notice of lien and custody implications. He clicked, face drained, scrolled the exhibit's baptism photo overlay on the wire transfer. Our boy, his old email ghosted below. Phone in hand, he dialed Ava. Voicemail. Tried me next. Straight to silent reject. Lynn's filter. Next, Mike. Pack tailored. 5,000 quarterly Lila's Art Fund LLC audit reveals commingling. Restitution demand full trace. Send. Whoosh. Imagined him in his studio brushes, mid-stroke canvas half-formed. Notification dinged. Opened the PDF, close-up NDA clause, circled red, his signature damning. Sketchpad forgotten, he paced. Worth every sketch, the recovered text mocked. Called his lawyer, got the after-hours panic rate. Greg last, the calculator. 12,000 Noah's investment timeline consultancy holds frozen. Breach of non-disclosure voids all. Whoosh. His home office charts on dual monitors tie loose from a red-eye. Ding. Eyes narrowed, scrolled the Ledger Sync Park photo, time-stamped against the wire. Timeline secure. His words boomeranged. No call, just forwarded to counsel wheels turning silent. 3 dings echoed in sequence, receipts confirmed. Pack delivered. The freeze wasn't a slap. It was systemic. Their cash flows choked at source audits, triggered reputations pinging on professional networks by noon. Poetic in its quiet way. They built on borrowed ground, now ground paid dues. Upstairs stirred. Footsteps, soft Lila in pajamas rumpled from the night. She paused at the landing, eyes red-rimmed but clear. Dad, coffee. I poured her a mug cream, 2 sugars. Black for me. You good? She slid onto the stool, cradling it. We're good. Like, unplugged. Sipped. Mom texted at 5. Need space. Blocked her after. Smart kid. Lynn's handling contact. School today. Remote. For us. She glanced at the laptop packs closed. What now, the guys? Daniel called Jacob's phone. Voicemail rant. I nodded. Logged it. Adds to the file. No details for her. Not yet. But the satisfaction hummed low, thorough earned. Not just ha, but smarter. Their reactions, predictable code. Deny, deflect, dial for damage control. Mine already. 3 moves ahead. Ava's absence hit then not as void, but vacuum. The house breathed lighter mirrors reflecting empty walls where her vanity used to squat. I wandered to the den, pulled up the security archive. Rewind to 11:42 p.m. post-extraction. Her alone in the frame pacing the foyer, phone in hand dialing wild, voicemails to the trio, "Fix this, he's ruining us." Then to me, "Monster, you'll pay." Deleted unsent. She sank to the rug, replayed the party clip guests, fleeing timer zeroed. Her face in the reflection crumpled mask, the one she'd worn for years. Safety nets, snapped threads now. No more reroutes, no ghost accounts. Just her staring at the wreckage. Parker called then my brother, the one solid Harlan left. Systems engineer like me, but with a ranch upstate. Voice steady on speaker. Heard the digest from Lynn. Solid play Nate. Clean extraction. I leaned back. Had to. For the kids. Understood. Pause the kind brothers share. You didn't take them down. You reset the board. Fairness standard, that's the win. They gamed the system. You audited it. His words landed right. Not conquest, calibration. The freeze pack proved it law as leveler no fists needed. I felt it then, that deeper click. Smarter, yes, but armored too. No more blind spots in the code. Lila wandered in, mug empty. Uncle Parker, he chuckled. Hey, Ace, your dad's teaching me a thing on boundaries. She smiled, faint. Good, we need more of that. I ruffled her hair. Breakfast pancakes, your call. As we mixed batter flour dusting the counter like fresh code, Jacob and Noah tumbled down, sleepy-eyed. Dad, Mom coming back? Soon as terms allow. Kept it light. But today, us, truth first. Jacob nodded slow. The envelopes, real, but family. That's us. Blood or built. Pointed to the stack pancakes rising. Like this. Ingredients matter. Order 2. Noah giggled, syrup sticky. Lila watched something settling in her shoulders. The montage played on not just their inboxes dinging, but ours sinking. School portals updated, trusts retitled under Harlan Primary. Lynn's follow-up, petition filed, hearing in 30, custody presumption yours. The Ha built steady, not loud triumph, quiet upgrade. Their freeze temporary chill on old debts. Ours foundation thawed, rebuilt clean. Ava's car keys still on the hook habit die hard. I pocketed them. No chase. Just forward compile. But as the first pancake flipped golden, my phone buzzed neutral. Lynn, 1 reaction logged. Daniel's counsel requesting meet. Terms, full restitution or escalation. I smiled, faint. Their move. Clock ticking again. The board stayed mine. And the kids they ate like tomorrow was blueprint, not shadow. Truth's flavor, sweeter than secrets. 1 month later, the new place felt less like a rental and more like a reboot. 2-bedroom walk-up in the hills views of the bay that didn't mock with memories. No echoing halls, just wood floors that creaked honest underfoot. I unpacked the last box that morning, kitchen basics kid, art supplies, a coffee maker that didn't know our old ghosts. The rhythm settled quick. Mornings started with routine, not residue. Alarm at 6:30. Brew for 3 decaf for the boys. Lila up by 7 scrolling college apps while I scanned Lynn's updates. No drama feeds, just progress pings. Custody hearing, locked assets settled. Ava's side silent, terms enforced. School shuttle at 8. I drove windows down. Jacob chattered soccer drills. Noah quizzed me on cloud types, his new obsession sparked by my old work stories, sanitized clean. Lila, in the back earbuds in, but she'd glance up. Dad, that finance app you showed synced my allowance tracker. Pride hit quiet. Good. Compound interest waits for no one. We'd started lessons last week, spreadsheets, simple budgets as blueprints. No lectures, just tools. Her eyes lit when the projections clicked. College fund growing, not ghosts. Afternoon pickup blurred into homework hubs. Kitchen table as command center. Laptops open, but no more shared clouds laced with deletions. I cooked stir-fry nights pasta fails that made us laugh. Real laughs. The kind that fill silences without strain. That custody confirmation came mid-week. Virtual hearing, Lynn's feed crisp on the den screen. Judge Harlan, no relation, but the name grounded me, reviewed the packet. Stability provider affirmed. Primary custody to Mr. Harlan. Visitation per mediated terms. Gavel virtual but solid. Lila's turn then. Mic on voice steady. Your Honor, this isn't about winning. It's about truth. Dad's shown us, me, Jacob, Noah, that family isn't DNA. It's the one who stays, plans, builds without strings. Pause. She met the camera. Mom had her reasons, but we're choosing forward. The screen froze on her words. Judge nodded. Noted. Order stands. Lynn's chat bubble, clean win. Ava watched from her feed muted per protocol. No outburst, just a nod faint. Her world parallel now but colder. Social capital crumbled, not from shouts but silence. The cold kind, blocked numbers unfollows organic. Old friends drifted when the whispers hit, not scandal, just facts, filed public. Daniel's firm audit dragged. Mike's gallery gigs dried. Greg's timelines redirected to restitution checks. She posted once a solo coffee shop caption, vague, realigning. Likes trickled. No tags. The web she'd spun solo now, no safety nets, just echoes. Back home, dinner simmered. I pulled the DNA box from storage, those 3 envelopes sealed fresh. No rage left, just closure code. Carried it to the new safe-bolted floor mount. Dial clicked Harlan birth year. Locked in, past archived, not erased, just offline. Truth log time, Jacob piped up fork midair. I nodded. Your entries first. The ritual we'd started, notebooks plain 1 per kid. Daily downloads, wins, worries, what-ifs turned plans. No filters. Jacob scribbled, scored 2 goals. Told coach about the timer thing, said it was boss. Noah's turn, drew a family tree. Branches, not lines. Dad's the trunk. Lila leaned over, his page pen poised. Mine budget hit goal. Saved for that trip fund and talked to a counselor. Turns out forgiving isn't forgetting. It's filing right. I watched from the counter, stirring. Their heads bent close, ink smudges, giggles soft. Room tone wrapped it, fridge hum, clock tick, our breath sinking easy. Acoustic guitar faint from the speaker, old playlist, pre-chaos tracks. This was the contrast sharp. Her side isolation by design threads snapped self-inflicted. Ours webs rebuilt threads, ours alone. No reroutes, just direct lines. Bedtime wound down. Stories swapped, Jacob's robot wars, Noah's cloud adventures. Lila lingered last. Dad, that box, smart lock. Past secured, future open. Hugged her loose. Proud of your statement today. She smiled, real. Learned from the best, the strategist. Lights out. I crashed early, first full night, no scans. Dreams clean, compiles, no errors. Morning light filtered natural, no chandelier glare. Coffee steamed. Phone neutral lens, all clear on filings. Ava's counsel requested a meet terms, only no contact. Declined via proxy. Boundaries held. The boys tumbled in logs, clutched. Read yours, Dad! I flipped a blank page. Starting now. Truth, we're whole. 1 month in stronger code. They cheered small. Lila high-fived. Breakfast stacked pancakes, uneven syrup shared. Out the window, bay sparkled. New rhythm. Honest pulse. No stages left. Just us scripting next. But as we cleared plates, a knock echoed delivery lens seal. Final Docs Trusts, retitled Futures funded clean. Ava's signature, fresh ink. Acceptance quiet. The divide sealed. Her cold silence, her choice. Ours. Warm momentum. Inspiration hit, then low burn. Not just survival. Thrival. The quiet strategist, empowered. Kids logging truths, me teaching tools. Karma's echo. Faint now. Our beat steady rise. I sat at the desk in the new den, the one with the bay window framing fog rolling off the water. Pen in hand, paper crisp stationery from the old house salvaged. Not for nostalgia, for continuity. The kids' names at the top, Lila, Jacob, Noah. 1 letter shared. Dear ones. Truth isn't a weapon. It's the foundation code we build on. Justice. Not about settling scores. It's enforcing the rules we all agreed to, fair play, no hidden loops. What happened? A glitch in the system, exposed, fixed, not by force but by facing the output. You 3 my constants. No variables there. Love, Dad. Folded it thrice, sealed the envelope, slid it into the truth log drawer, the one with their notebooks, our shared archive. No digital ghosts, just ink that lasts. Lila's room door creaked later that afternoon. She leaned in the frame laptop, underarm essay draft glowing on screen. Dad finished it. Want the read? I nodded, pushed the chair back. Hit me. She perched on the arm, voice steady as she scrolled. Title bold, Truth Has No DNA. In a world wired for connections, family isn't about strands or strings. It's the signal that holds through static. My mom. She chased backups, afraid of blackout. Dad, he engineered the grid steady current, no surges. Turns out the real test isn't who codes the origin, it's who debugs the runtime. She paused, eyes flicking up. Met mine. The party. That timer not a shutdown. A reset. Showed me dignity's the upgrade. Lies crash the build. Truth compiles clean. I let it sink. Her words echoed the module we'd unpacked together last week, that post-war debrief father to heir. Not lecture, exchange. What sparked that line, the grid? She shrugged light. You unpacking the NAS that night, not raging, just sorting. Like, this broke. Log it, patch forward. Mom's fear. Valid maybe, but fear's a bad compiler, loops endless. Yours forward branch, clean exit. We sat with it. No rush. The room filled slow. Her typing clacks fading my coffee, cooling. Catharsis like that quiet handoff. Heir to the code. She wasn't just surviving the fallout. She was scripting her own. Print it? I asked. Yeah, for the drawer. She hit save. And college apps? Truth cells? Dinner passed Easy Taco's assembly line at the counter. Jacob layered cheese heavy. Noah drowned his in salsa, giggling at the drip. Lila narrated her essay, hook-testing laughs. Real ones. No undercurrents. Night deepened. Lynn's final ping came at 10, Ava's signature on the waiver. Full asset release, no claims on the house trust's residuals. Clean split. Her note attached scanned. It's done. At least the kids have a good dad. Whispered maybe to the notary. Or herself. I archived it. No reply needed. Terms closed the loop. Morning broke soft. Kitchen alive with sizzle eggs over easy toast browning uneven. The boys at the table, logs open. Jacob sketched a timer clock superhero cape on it. Dad's gadget saves the day. Noah stacked blocks into a truth tower. No wobbles, like your pancakes. Lila poured juice glasses clinking. Essay got an A preview from Ms. Reyes. Resonant, she said. I played it up, sat with them. Forks, scraped, chatter, bubbled school gossip weekend hikes. Laughter small but steady, like breaths sinking after a long run. The module wrapped it then, that debrief echo in the air. Not spelled out. Lived. Me to them. What did you log today? Jacob team win, passed the ball right. Noah. Drew a map, no secrets. Leela, chose my major. Systems design, your fault. We clinked forks. Smiles traded. No weight, just worth. As plates cleared, I lingered at the sink. Water ran warm. Outside, sun cut the fog, clear lines, new day. Some lies spawn from fear, fragile firewalls against the dark. But truth, it powers the long haul, nurtures dignity that doesn't glitch. Fade on that. The board's ours now. Dignity's the real checkmate. Thank you for listening to today's stories. If you enjoyed listening, please like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Also, leave a comment below to share your thoughts on what happened. Take care.